it that way. Okay, so now toting knives and guns in the South is illegal. Is legal. He said toting knives and guns in the South is legal, even at school, as the blade isn't over 5 inches. While people are spreading misinformation about the white boy being high, yeah, and people running with that. I'm sure there's some type of surveillance footage. It was a privately owned stadium. Now, listen, listen, my family. The footage can also work against Karmelo Anthony. So don't automatically think because there's footage, it's going to be positive. It can be negative, like because what if it shows that Karmelo was the aggressor and then sat down? You see what I'm saying? So the footage can be worse. All right. Um, there are only one way to face white supremacists is with aggression. These two brothers decided to try to assault our brother Carmelo. He defended himself. Yeah, he did defend himself, brother. But there's in Texas, and see that's the thing. Like he did defend himself, but was it according to the law of Texas? He might have defended himself according to the law of Wyoming, but did he? All that matters is did he defend himself according to the law of Texas? And let's look at it. I got you right here. So now let's look at it because defense in Texas ain't always what you think defense is. Okay, that's why I say you gotta know your state law. Okay, so let's hit you with it. Let's hit you with it. All right. So are we gonna be okay? When we read it, then what? Are we gonna argue the law now? Okay, shit. So let's just take the law for what it is, right? Because that's all you got. The law is all you got. I knew it was gonna do that. I hate that. I knew it was gonna do that. All right, let's look at Texas law. Let me stop teasing y'all and look into it. Are y'all ready? Here we are. Texas self-defense laws. Texas law under Texas Penal Code 9.31-9.33 provides robust protections for individuals acting in self-defense use of force. Listen, guys. Listen, use of force permits non-deadly force. So Jay, I told you, man, self-defense, yes, there's deadly self-defense force and there's non-deadly use of defense force. Okay, so use of force permits non-deadly force when an individual reasonably believes it's immediately necessary to protect against another's unlawful use of force. So that is under the non-deadly force, right? So if you use deadly force according to this, you're guilty. Let's go to what Carmelo did. Use of deadly force allows deadly force if an individual reasonably believes is necessary to prevent. So look what you got to prevent. You got to reasonably prevent imminent death or serious bodily injury. Okay, somebody touching your shoulders or sending you a threat. That's not. I don't believe that's going to fly. The commission of certain violent crimes such as murder, robbery, or SA. It did assault. Okay, let's go further. Stand your ground. Texas does not impose a duty to retreat if the individual has a legal right to be in the location where the force is used. Castle Doctrine provides that individuals may use force, including deadly force, to protect themselves against intruders in their home, vehicle, or place of business. All right, so here we are. I specifically asked about Karmelo Anthony. Let me sip some coffee while y'all read ahead. My coffee's got a little. It's a little hotter than warm. I'm a little hot. Mm, coffee good. Okay. Application to the Karmelo Anthony case. In April 2025, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony was charged with the fatal stabbing of fellow student Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. Key facts. The altercation began when Metcalf asked Anthony to move from an area designated for Metcalf's team. Witnesses reported that Anthony warned Metcalf not to touch him. When Metcalf made physical contact, Anthony allegedly pulled a knife from his backpack and stabbed him. Anthony admitted to the stabbing and questioned whether it could be considered self-defense. Now, that admission right there is shaky. Okay, hopefully, that's just somebody word of mouth. That's hopefully that's not on video, or hopefully he didn't ask a police officer that. Okay. Remember when Tupac said that line? I'm not a killer, so don't push me. That's self-defense. Okay. So here we are. Now, are y'all ready? I mean, sip some more coffee because y'all about to freak out. Hold on. Drink most of this coffee. Okay. Most of that coffee is gone. Well, I drank most of all of it. Okay. Oh, boy. I'm just plugging in my iPad so I can have a good charge for the morning. Let me plug this phone up so I can have a nice charged phone. Here's my phone. Let's get this phone nice and charged. All right. Let's get this phone nice and charged. Okay, cool. Now, let me read the chat first before I go further. Golden Brown said Texas laws are designed to oppress black people because they understand the weakness of black people. Vegas is looser, vile. I got one better. Ice Cube, quote, rather be judged by 10, carried by 6. Yeah, I like that one. Really, bro. If that was me, I wouldn't say anything to the police until I lawyer up. Too late. Yeah. So, but what could work for him is that he's a kid and he's not sure. You dig? Like, a kid could be afraid because kids are not going to understand self defense law because most likely your parents ain't teaching, and especially if you're FBA. Our parents, I don't know, like our parents don't teach us shit. They don't teach us nothing about credit, investments, LLCs, none of that. It's just self defense, none of that. So you listen, you guys know. My son 3. When he gets about 7, 8, 9, he gonna know all that stuff. So I'm gonna make sure I break that generational curse of passing down good information. Yes, sir. And you gonna know all. You gonna know the LLC is. You gonna know what sole proprietary is. Sole proprietorship is. You gonna know all that stuff. You dig? How to cash a check. How to all that stuff. All the because it's gonna be more modern. Like for him, modern stuff. But yeah, and he gonna know what self defense is too. So he ain't playing with it. All right, here we are. Analysts analysis under Texas law, immediacy and proportionality. While Anthony may have perceived a threat, the use of deadly force, stabbing in response to being touched or physically moved may be deemed disproportionate, especially if there was no indication of an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. Immediacy and proportionality. While Anthony may have perceived a threat, the use of deadly force, stabbing, in response to being touched. Okay, look, Jay, touched or physically moved may be deemed disproportionate, especially if there was no indication of imminent threat of death or serious injury. This is the part, Jay. That's the part. Okay. So, and he's 17. It's gonna be difficult. So now, does he get on the stand or does he not? Because that prosecutor, man, he get on that stand. What made you believe that you were going to die or he was going to beat you to a pulp? Explain to that jury over there. What did he say? What did he do to make you believe that you had to kill him? Jay, this is the part. So this is what I'm trying to say. We got to leave our emotions out and just deal with the law and what is and the facts that's currently collected. Now, again, more facts will come out later, some video footage or testimonies or witnesses you did can help Karmelo out. But right now, the little bit of facts that's gathered right now is not looking too good because there was just because he said get up and touch them because he dared him. Let's do with the facts. He said you better not touch me, so he kind of dared him. So he touched him. Okay, touching is not an indication of an imminent threat or of death or serious bodily injury. I mean, if touching is seen as that, then damn, we all gonna die. You dig? Okay. Duty to retreat. Texas law does not require individuals to retreat if they have a legal right to be present. However, the justification for using deadly force still depends on the reasonableness of the perceived threat. I'm telling you, they're going to have this dude explain why you believe you were going to die. And if he fumbles that, he will be judged by 12. Okay. If he fumbles that, he will be judged by 12. Okay. I'm not done. Provocation. If evidence suggests that Anthony provoked the confrontation or escalated the situation, his claim of self-defense may be undermined. Yeah. So the touch me thing, I'm telling you, Jay, that might fall in this. That might be seen as escalating situation because that's like daring somebody to touch you. That's like self-defense. Think about this, chat. Look, let's try to take our emotions out. Let me use Donnie. Donnie, if I don't want you bothering me, right? I'm probably gonna say, Donnie, leave me alone. Go away. Okay? If I don't want you bothering me, that's common. Leave me alone, go away. You're annoying. But you guys know, I mean, let's be real, you guys know. Touch me, see what happens. That's more like I don't know, man. That's more like a threat. So hopefully he did not say that. Hopefully a witness said that. He didn't say it himself. But you see, you guys, you have to see the problems now. Saying touch me, that's not somebody who's afraid. That's somebody who's willing to use force, back, even force. Again, somebody who's actually afraid of bodily harm or a death blow, you're not going to dare the person that, look, chat, think about it. You're using self-defense because you think their actions are going to possibly kill you. So why would I tell somebody to possibly kill me by saying touch me? Why would I want you to possibly kill me by saying touch me? Because you might swing the knife and miss. And if they was coming to bodily kill you, he's going to kill you now for sure. And now he got self-defense. You did. So I mean, that touch me statement. Listen, if it goes to trial, we're going to revisit this live right here. And if I'm right with these key highlights, listen, I might go to Dan. I might become a lawyer. Conclusion: given the circumstances, Anthony's claim of self-defense under Texas law faces significant challenges. The proportionality of the response and the nature of the threat will be central to the legal proceedings. I'm telling you. I don't think a juror, again, if all we're gonna have is what's available now, I don't think a juror is gonna take him saying "touch me" as he's in fearful of his life at that point. Touch me means I got something for you. Okay, so, but again, we'll see because now you need a good lawyer because your lawyer probably could explain away the things I'm saying. Right, he could beat up the prosecution like a young thugger lawyer, Brian Steele. Yeah, so a good lawyer can, help you out. He could clean up the mess a little bit. He can point out. Remember what Brian Steele lawyer did? Brian Steele lawyer for Young Thug had pointed out the incompetence in the Atlanta Police Department, how stupid and goofy they are. He pointed out like these guys like the Three Stooges. Right, so we can't trust their investigation. Look how goofy they are. So that's what he was good at doing, exposing how goofy the state was. And not just that, the judges. He started to show how the judges were biased. You know what I mean? So like they felt real good about their case. So you would need things like that. You will hope that the prosecution is hiding things on some OJ shit you dig. But for what we know right now, hopefully he beats it. But he looks like a good kid. But man, it's gonna be tough. What do y'all say now? So let me see if this changed anybody's mind. All right. Remember, I don't know. I'm just reading, what the evidence states now and the law for self-defense. And it's going to trial most likely. I'm not the jury. Yeah, I'm one man. The jury gonna be what, 12? So my opinion means absolutely nothing. I'm not gonna be in that box, the jury box. It means nothing. Some people in the jury box might not care about all that information I brought out. They just care about, they might be emotionally tied. Maybe their son was being bullied. You dig? So that's what matters. My opinion doesn't matter at all. What matters is those people, those 12 that's in that jury box. And if their son's been bullied and died as a result or got bodily injured, you dig, most likely he's going to get acquitted. Okay, so let me read some things. A warning and a threat are two different things, brother. If you're scared, you don't. You're. If you're scared, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm a human. I could be wrong. Right? I make mistakes. I'm wrong all the time. I just felt like people that scared react different, right? Some people that scared, like they'll pretend like they can fight or they're going to defend themselves, and they're not. So again, I'm just telling you my opinion right now. It can change, right? It can change with more information coming out. And I'm not saying he's done. I think he's facing some serious challenges. I agree with ChatGPT. He's facing some serious challenges. Okay. A warning and a threat are two different things. Yeah, brother, it depends. A good prosecutor can look at that warning as a threat. A good prosecutor can paint that warning as a threat to that jury. Okay. Uh, but the only poked on once and ran where the intention he didn't go to the track meet to yeah. So, but say, like I said, I don't know, the self in Jersey, like there's not really no self defense law. We're working on that right now since Trump is office. But prior to no, the Roe versus Wade reversal had also looked at the tri-state self-defense law and said it was unconstitutional, and it was New Jersey and New York were supposed to be finally being able to exercise their Second Amendment rights and self-defense. Okay, because I know a couple of people in Jersey who were able to get guns. You know what I mean? Which is like weird because all of my life it was illegal unless you were a licensed like police officer or security guard. Like you ain't had no probation officer, whatever. Correct? So you ain't had no damn gun. It's weird to see people with guns in Jersey. Anyway, yeah. Listen, you got to be able to argue both sides, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be stuck in your feelings where you're trying to find a way out for them. You got to also argue the other side. Okay, you got to do that because you got to be honest with yourself. You don't be biased. Because think about white supremacists. Like they're looking at the other thing. They're looking at he's just guilty. Like they're not considering um, Carmelo Anthony could be innocent. They're just considering he's guilty. So we can't be like that. We gotta be more reasonable. All right, listen. Let's consider both. Okay. Him saying touch me was a response to what was said or done to him. Once again, you're running with the story the brother put out there. That's wild. Jay Quan, before you pin a story on me, my boy, okay, don't just start lying. All right. I don't know a story. I didn't look into this shit, my boy. All I did was Google self defense, not Google, ChatGPT self defense, and I had Google ChatGPT state law, and I wanted ChatGPT assessment on the case. I didn't read shit. I didn't read nobody's statement. I said earlier that I don't like to look at stuff like this because they're controversial, and they have niggas like you respond like that. So that's why I said I don't like to cover these. Donnie, did I say that at the beginning? I said I don't like to cover these controversial stories because when you try to be unbiased, there's some emotional dude in the goddamn chat wilding out. So that's why I say I don't like to cover things like this because you guys are too emotional. You don't want to look at it where, hey man, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. We're not always wrong. We're not always right. So I didn't look. I don't know what the guy said. I didn't click any news articles. I don't even follow shit like this. I don't follow controversial stuff because you get people like you acting like a fool in the chat because I'm being unbiased. I'm looking at information and I'm reading what self defense is and I'm looking at what was allegedly stated, comments being said, and you're going off hypotheticals. Your own mouth was believed. You don't believe they got a video. You're the one projecting. You're the one adding evidence that ain't there. Mark Furman. I'm going on what's stated. What people allege to have been said and done. You are the one adding information, Mark Furman. I'm not doing it. I'm going with stated. I'm saying so far what's allegedly collected as evidence, whether it's a witness or Karmelo himself saying something. I don't think that's a good look in a self defense case. I could be wrong. I'm not a defense lawyer. I'm not Bruce Rivers. I keep giving the disclaimer. I'm just a human being who's looking at some things. That's all. And I don't like the fact he said touch me. I don't like that. That could be seen, I say with a good DA, that could be seen as provoking. Okay. Now to think a DA can't twist that like that, you're being delusional and emotional. I don't like that. So these are learning lessons for us. So we find out because there's a lot of white supremacists that's out there that's looking to harm us. So you need to be aware and not give the state a weak argument. No, you don't want to make a weak argument strong. So we're learning from this situation in real time. But don't start lying on me and saying I'm going with it. What the hell wrong with you, man? That's what you're doing. You said believe, and you said footage. Did anybody see any footage? So why is he talking about footage? All right, so you're the one planting evidence, Mark Furman, not me. I'm going off what's already documented. And if I can't be honest on things like this, then that's your problem. So I said over and over and over, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in the jury box. What I say means absolutely nothing. I can't influence nothing that goes on this, in this case, this trial. I'm just going over available data. I said over and over and over, as more evidence become available, I can change my mind. First of all, what is my mind saying? I'm not saying guilty or innocent. That's what your mind is saying. You're projecting on me. I'm saying it doesn't look good. But guess what? It didn't look good for a young thug either, and he ain't doing no damn time or no more time. He's a free man. So just because it doesn't look good doesn't mean you're going to prison, and just because it looks good doesn't mean you're free. It all depends. I said it before. I'm a broken record now. It all depends on your lawyer, your defense lawyer. And it all depends on how good that DA is, and it also depends on how biased are those people in that jury box. That's what matters. Not unbiased, unprofessional, humble opinion. All right. So I'm gonna always try to give my honest opinion on subjects like this, or even simpler ones, right? The math hop, Umar, even simple subjects. I'm trying to give my best, honest, educated opinion. I'm going to try my best not to give y'all an emotional outburst. Okay, that's not what I do. So if y'all can't handle that, then y'all just not truthful people. I wonder what type of skeletons you got. You can't just look at the data and just say, "Hey, man, it looks, in your mind, it could look like an easy win." Like you said, you said slam dunk. You said that earlier in the chat. You said this is a slam dunk case for Carmelo Anthony. Now, knowing what we know now, do you still believe it's a closed and shut case? Be honest. Now that we know, do you still believe it's slam dunk? Or do you believe it's going to be difficult? That is a sincere, honest question. Let me get that answer. Okay. Let me catch up on comments. Yeah, but that's exactly why, Donnie, I sound like to cover these controversial black and white cases, because always somebody who just believes black people are always right and white folks are always wrong, regardless of whom and what. Okay. So if we're going to have a conversation, it is best we have an honest, educated, evidence-based conversation. Like we do, unless we just only be honest when it comes to white supremacists and tethers. But when it comes to ourselves, we got to lie and cover and hide evidence like Mark Furman and plant stuff. Okay, so let me catch up on comments. I missed a lot. Okay. Muck said Texas, like VA, where I am, is stand your ground state. It seems to be a double standard when we decide to defend ourselves. FBA then says, Muck says the Bible says to try and be peaceful with everyone, which I live by. I never start anything, but I will always defend myself. FBA Vin says I live in Vegas and understand your ground state, but it's underlying wording you have to watch out for. That is a carry state, but carrying sometimes bring unwanted attention, right? Jaquan says, so the possibility of a broken jaw is bodily injury. I don't know who had the broken jaw. Yeah, y'all all got wrenches. Put the link in the chat and I will pull it up and share it on my screen. Okay, because you said so the possibility of a broken jaw. Okay, bro, I know you're not saying that. I know you're not like imagining, brother. I hope there's an actual broken jaw. I know you're not imagining a broken jaw. Like, so if he says, "Hey, man, Get up. Are you trying to tell me because he told him to get up that he was going to try to break his jaw? Like, that's crazy. If that's your assessment, that's crazy, bro. No, Metcalf assaulted him twice before he got hit up. Okay. Yeah. So now, hey, Muck, put me on. Put those links in the chat. Let me read those accounts because if they're saying that in that chat, I said that earlier. I said if a video or witness shows that Metcalf assaulted Karmelo Anthony with that size advantage, I said things can change. Okay, but that's all hypothetical though. But I left it out for how it looks good for Carmelo Anthony and how it looks bad. All right. Anyway, Muck Muck 100 FBA Vince says Muck Muck 100. But in this society, being a righteous FBA man, you lose, so you have to be a wolf in order to stay alive. Some clown, as Tether tried to compare this case to the Botham Jean case. And you see, Lord Maul, I don't even know what the Botham Jean case is. Because again, I don't like to follow these because they're too controversial. And when I give an honest, unbiased opinion, my folks turn on me. Okay. It's on video. What video? So Jay Klein, you might got to call in because you're making claims and I'm not seeing a link. So you mentioned a broken jaw, put the link there. You said there's a video, put the link there. Because if there's video running, the video can work for either one of them. What's on the video? Las Vegas used to be called the Mississippi of the West is old white supremacy here. Wow. Golden Brown says Texas laws are designed. Oh, I already read that. I'm catching up now. Okay, I'm catching up now. I'm catching up where I was. I'm catching up. FBA Vince says Vegas is not the worst. I raised two sons here who work heterosexual man, and I'm not a curry. You make it what you want it to be. My brother, I love Vegas. Okay. Oh, somebody was acting like Mayweather was like Jamaican. So I told him like, hey man, I gotta hear this one calling because I have a little more insight on Mayweather that most people don't have. Okay. So I was trying to play possum. I was like, yo, really? Wow, okay. He's Jamaican? Okay, man. You call in, yo, educate me. I never heard that before. So I'm trying to like bait him in to call in. So it won't be tonight, I guess. So maybe tomorrow he can like try some pseudo argument that Mayweather's Jamaican, so I can cook him because I know some things about Mayweather that most people won't know because it's not like public. Okay, yes, I'll cook him on Mayweather. I will cook him on Mayweather for sure. He didn't just get touched; he got yoked up. Muck Muck says that he didn't have to. That's the point. A minute. Yeah, so Mugmug and Jay, I need y'all to put the link in the chat so I can read. So you guys are saying this happened. That means there's a video that you guys must have watched, or a witness said that, or even Carmelo could have said that. But let me read it though, because I don't want to be miseducated. I don't want to quote you guys and look like a fool on somebody's podcast. Okay. Yeah, the eminent word. It was some strong words. His twin also approached him. He probably thought they were about to bang him. See, but Mukbuk, that's his imagination, bro. I don't think self defense. I don't think you can use your imagination because In that case, white folks gonna kill us out wholesale. I thought he was gonna take my purse, so I blew his head off. Yeah, not the imagination thing, bro. That ain't gonna work. If that works, and white supremacists gonna take us out on a regular. Oh my God, I locked my door, but he went and tied his shoe, and I thought he was grabbing the gun out of his shoe, and I killed him. Yeah, no, that imagination thing, I don't think that's gonna stand. Uh, yeah, so Jay Quan is on some old. He didn't crash out with his imagination. He said, "LOL, you believe those big ass white boys were no threat? They couldn't beat him to a pulp or break his jaw." Oh, so now see, this is brother. I hope you don't practice self defense on what you're trying to sell us. Cause we're gonna be doing a lot about you. Like, damn, Jay Quan, you heard about Jay Quan? Yeah, man, shit. Let me ask GPT, what's his chances? It's gonna say Jay Quan 007 should have listened to Unbiased Sports and Donnie, Unbiased Ron and Donnie about not using your imagination in self defense. There has to be an imminent threat of death or bodily harm. So if you guys are telling me you have some information where they had, something physical had to happen for but I just gave y'all a case in point of a white guy being pushed down in the water. Y'all just ignored that. I got a case where a white, it's called like the river or something. It was just last summer. It was just last summer. I followed that thing. It was last summer. I just told y'all there was a case of a white man who was physically being pushed on camera. On camera. They had the video of the stabbing. They had the video of the bullying. Hey Donnie, they showed the video in court of the guy being bullied. They're pushing him down in the water. They're mocking him. So everything Jay is fantasizing about, this actually happened to this guy. Guilty. Guilty. They say he was guilty. He pulled a knife out, injured one person, and killed another one. So you're telling me a guy who was actually being physically, violated and mocked and scorned, and he was found guilty of murder. The dude doing like 30 years. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know. And then we know it's white supremacy, systemic racism. It's like, like, yo, man, like this guy was actually this was not hypothetical. He would have broke his jaw. They were pushing him down the water. He could have drowned. And they were hella, you said this, you said two white boys, but how about 25 white people, a crowd of them shouting at him, calling him a pedo and all type of stuff. How about 20 white people, a crowd of 20 people, not two, 20 people. And he defended himself and he got about 30 years in prison. So I look at stuff like that, like shit. Cause I thought, I was back and forth with him, like, damn, he gonna get off, And then like my final conclusion was he ain't getting off. And he was found guilty. But I was back and forth with him for a while, like listening to the trial. And then he was cross-examined. He did horrible in his cross-examination. And Jay, that's what it's gonna come down to, my boy. It's gonna come down to will Karmelo take the stand? And guess what, chat? He's going to have to, because it's self-defense. What person that claims self-defense don't take the stand? And then it's probably going to be 3-4 years later. His memory ain't so good, and that defense attorney just going hard on him, bro. But that's why I say I'm open to more evidence. I just said I hope he get off. y'all become weird. Like, yo, why would I hope he go to jail? Okay. Anyway. Uh, okay. So you don't believe it's so when he said touch me, you don't believe that could be seen as you don't believe that's close. Yeah, I agree. It is a warning, but I don't know. But is a warning? Can a warning be a threat? And also remember, we read is like remember what we read. It doesn't talk about warning or threat. It said, "Did you do anything that caused the rumble?" And like again, I'm speaking for the defense attorney. They can say, "Well, Metcalf wasn't going to touch him. He was just going to intimidate him and just scoff at him and walk away." But when he said, touch me, he felt like he was being challenged. You know what I mean? You got to think about stuff like that. Like, you guys are too optimistic uh, for something that's so controversial. if we miss this word, I guess it's a warning. Jaquan said him saying touch me was a response to what he was said or done to him. Once again, you're running with, okay, I already read that. Not looking good. He can say what he want. What the F was Austin under mind control, saying touch me and see what happens is a warning to get away from. I mean, you guys are the ones that set yourself for failure for not looking at this with an unbiased perspective. Because if Buddy get locked up, you guys are going to be traumatized. Not me, because I'm already seeing that this case is sticky. Even Chat GPT said, "Hey, this is going to be challenging for um, Carmelo Anthony." Even Chat GPT said, based upon what we have right now, it doesn't look good, basically. Okay. Golden Brown said, "No, you are wrong. If say don't touch me means I'm afraid of you because of you see." I mean, yeah, like that. I keep trying to say a lawyer can argue that way, Golden Brown. A lawyer can say, "Hey man, not touch me is I'm afraid, so don't touch me or I'm gonna crash out." I can see it that way too. If they broke his phone and already put hands on him, why should he leave? They tried again to now. What they did before is not going to help you on self defense. So what they did on Monday won't help you with self defense Sunday. Yeah, nah. Like so I'm gonna switch gears. Like a battered woman who has a abusive boyfriend, she can't base the abuse on last week on today when he just walk in the house to go get a beer. She just can't blow his head off because what he did last Tuesday. All right. So now y'all got all these hypotheticals. If they broke his phone, if um touch me and see what happens, a warning, and this be a coach. Yeah, I could see it as a warning, but again, they're in Texas. Y'all just said Texas was KKK state, right? It's the Klan state. So FBA culture don't mean nothing to them. They're like, what the hell is that? But you know, we'll see when if more evidence comes out. Dottie, how is that baiting? If I say, Donnie, shut the F up before I smack you, and you say, touch me, did you provoke me or warn me? Brother, yeah, you guys, yeah, don't do, if you guys are debaters, you ain't gonna do good. When you become a great debater, you gotta anticipate both arguments, right? So the way I debate, the way I destroy tethers is that I think about their side. So I debate their side versus my side in my head. And I try to determine how strong would their argument be. And that's how I'm able to like drop arguments. Like, okay, I ain't using that because this is gonna just make them seem like they got something. So like I pick my battles wisely. Okay. What else we got here? Donnie House. Okay, so free speech, but the law isn't implemented the same for some. So they start now. We're assuming that the law is going to be fair, right? 'Cause that's all we can like hope for. So we're assuming if the law is fair and they're calling it straight down the line, do you guys believe Carmelo Anthony, based upon what we have right now and read this self defense law? Do you believe Carmelo Anthony got a good shot of getting acquitted or charges dropped, or do you believe you know he got to go to trial? He got to present a great argument for why he did what he did. Okay. So why would you touch me after I stated don't touch me? Yeah, my neck hurt reading this. Pause. Let me get down. My neck hurt reading this damn screen. Okay. So Tony, Maurice, peace, man. Twins mean my connection going wild again. If my audio bad, let me know. So Tony Maurice says twins means two against one. They are not showing camera footage for a reason. They confiscated all phones. Yeah, so we gotta wait, right? So if, like I say, listen, guys, listening is fundamental. I'm saying if there's video footage, I guarantee is this not going to trial. If there is, hey Donnie, document this. If there is actual video footage, this is not going to trial. The charges will either be dropped or he gonna cop a plea because video footage pretty much solves the case. You dig? So if there's video footage, either charges will be dropped or Carmelo Anthony will be copying a plea. Because that's one thing lawyers can't, they don't give a damn how great they are. It's one thing they can't get around is video footage. So that's the good thing about video footage. If the phones show what happened, document this, folks. Charges will be dropped or a plea will be copped. Okay? They're free thinking, heterosexual, black on this chat. Mine is thinking on both sides. I'm not here to get white supremacist passes. Yeah, I don't think any of us here to get white supremacist passes. What a rebuttal, Donnie, if you say so. Culture. Yeah, I got a phone number. Anybody can call in. Okay, not acquiesce to that. To debate. Yeah, I mean, it is nothing to debate because we're just looking at the evidence, right? Look, you got to see us. You got to see ourselves as like a jury. A jury. The jury doesn't always agree. That's why you have hung jurors. So, like, why would you think? I guess we are a monolith, right? Like, so, like, we got to stay consistent. Are we a monolith, or are we a bunch of 43 million FBAs with different personalities, different opinions on different things? Okay, peace. So, I probably have more training than anyone on my unbiased iron. Am I right, Ronish? the fact that the fact that he hit him once and ran proves he was scared. He didn't butcher the devil and he didn't stand it. Yeah, but that's a solid point. You dig? If that's true, that's a solid point. He didn't. If he only swung one time and he didn't like try to go, some crash out, that will definitely add to the self defense claim. Okay, but it doesn't mean that's. But like I said, man, it's real simple. If there's footage there, if they actually got footage, you're gonna see charges drop, or you're gonna see a plea copped. I guarantee that. Okay, so let's keep reading. Oh, P says Judge Joe Brown believes this was not legal. Hey, oh, really? Now look. So P says Judge Joe Brown believes this was not legal self defense. Hey, P, I wouldn't listen to Judge Joe Brown about anything, including Dr. Seuss. Okay, he's been a wacko ever since he lost his job, man. Ever since he got canceled, he's been a wacko. I wouldn't listen to him for anything other than some Dr. Seuss riddles. So to me, his opinion on this means absolutely nothing. He's been mentally like something up this guy. But like to me, he lost all of his credibility for the crazy stuff he's been saying and doing. I'm good with him. Yeah, I wouldn't take his opinion, and he might be right, but he was too whacked out for me to take a risk and listen to what he got to say. That's just me personally. You guys, you're grown, you're smart, you can do what you want to do. P says he may be, but that's also a brilliant legal mind. Twins can cause bodily harm. He was attacked, and he was attacked. Hey Tony, you got a wrench. If he was attacked, Tony, post that link. You know what's crazy? You guys are not posting links. Like you're making crazy claims, but I can't read them. Okay. I showed my screen. You dig? I didn't just read it, I shared it. We read it together. So if y'all got some information, please. Because Chat GPT ain't talk about a video. Chat GPT ain't talk about a broken jaw. I specifically asked about Karmelo Anthony case. It didn't talk about videos of broken jaws, none of that stuff. It dealt with the facts that we have today. Okay. Donnie asked Tony, "How are you the only one with evidence?" Muck Muck asked P, or he told him, but he's a Mason, and Black Masons are beholden to the YT power structure. I don't know about that, Muck. No one's emotional, brother. We have a different view. Yeah, it's all good. But again, like, look, I want y'all to listen to me. I got to say this 1,000 times. My views are subjected to change based on more evidence that's revealed. My views are subjected to change. I'm not set on anything. As a matter of fact, I didn't even make a judgment. That's another thing. I said it didn't look good. That's not making a judgment. I'm saying when I heard about this and I seen the channels making videos about this, it seemed like the self defense case was like a slam dunk, like Jay said. But when I read it, I'm like, and I know what I know about self defense. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You guys can't give me. I give you guys about 5 self defense cases, okay, and two were popular. They were all over the TVs and internet. That's the Kyle Rudolph, and that was the River Knife Sling. Okay, so I gave y'all two, and the other three was on First 48. You guys have gave me no reference of a self defense case that you guys are aware of. That's public. That's public that we could look up or watch. I gave y'all 5. All right. So anyway, Judge Brown is generally an independent thinker, and he generally predicts the way cases are tried in court. Yeah. So Pete, you might be 100% right. Like I said, the fact that he was wacky on some other stuff, I just wouldn't use him as my source. I'm going on what both boys stated. All right, so Jay Quan, why I can't read it? Why is everybody so secretive with this information? You guys are saying stuff. If it's true, you should be easily able to prove it. Yeah, y'all here debating like Kwame. If you said it, the burden of proof is on you. If you said it, you gotta get it. Yeah, I like if you said it, you gotta get it. Okay. Uh, oh my god, my neck's killing me reading this shit. Yeah, I never read the comments this long before, and my neck is killing. You know what? Let me read it from my iPad. Yeah, because that is killing me. God damn. You read from my iPad. Oh my god. Right. Let me sit down and read this. All right. So let me read your comments. You dig? And like I said, y'all want the phone number? Let me know. Rains, peace. Tiny Rains. I can't pronounce your last name. I apologize. But let me give you a wrench. So if you got a wrench and you got some information, please post a link in the chat. I promise you, I'll click the link and I will read it. Okay, because Jaquan, he misjudged me. He thought I knew about this case. I don't, bro. My first time looking into this case was tonight, actually, tonight. Before I went live, I made the thumbnail. That's my thumbnail. I made that thumbnail. That thumbnail dope, right? I made the thumbnail with the crowd behind it. That's me. I made all that. So, bro, I didn't have much time to research because I did a live. I did two lives today, right? The second one, you dig? What I didn't do? I went to the store. My son rode his bike for a little while. I came back in the house. I had no time to look into this story. So I said, you know what? I did a couple researchers. I looked up on because. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys. So tomorrow at about 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm gonna put the link in my post again. So subscribe to the channel, please, and you'll see the link. So I'm going to be going over Marcus Garvey and Pan Africanism on Chief X channel, okay, with Ngozi. So it's going to be me, Chief X, Ngozi, and we're going to be discussing Pan Africanism, why it's useless, and Marcus Garvey, and why he was a complete nut, okay, with an unrealistic dream, just a tether, right? So we're going to go in tomorrow. So when I came back in the house, Jay, I brushed up on that because I want to be sharp. And then I looked up, I went into the bell curve, right? And so actually I was catching up on one of Tariq Nasheed videos. And Tariq Nasheed video is why I looked up this. And also the bell curve, because he was talking to a white supremacist cosplaying as somebody FBA, and the white supremacist brought up no. I think he had a white supremacist, and he had like a piece of trash, like Somalian, and Somalian was acting like our IQ was like lower than. So I went and found out, what ChatGPT thought about the bell curve. Was it pseudo, whatever, and I got that information. So Jaquan, I researched some heavy stuff when I got back in the house, and then lastly, I looked into this case. And that's why it took so long to go live, my boy. I was reading up on all those things. So now, what I know about this case is not from a news article. So I didn't read anybody's statements. I went straight to Chat GPT. I went the smart way. I went to the cheat code. Okay. And Chat GPT pretty much I asked them specifically. I said, give me the generic uh definition of self-defense. Give me Texas state law self-defense. And then I said, give me your opinion on the Karmelo Anthony self-defense case. That's all I said. I don't know about statements. So if you know about statements, if you got a wrench and you didn't put one link in the chat yet, let me read the statement. Somebody got footage. Let me see the video. More information I got, I can, help represent uh this correctly. But most importantly, we got to be honest though, because don't forget, keep in mind, we supposed to have integrity, right? Uh, we know tethers and white supremacists. They are dishonest, and they will lie with no problem. We supposed to represent black excellence for real. People say that, but they don't represent it. That's what we do. So we're not going to lie. We're going to look at the evidence and say, hey man, it's unfortunate. Like let's say if the evidence comes out in the future and it makes him look guilty, like we got to just hold that. Say, damn, bro, shit, man, hold your head up, man. You dig, and just hold that. But if the evidence make him look good, we got to just own that too. Like, okay, all right, he should be straight. But either way, we got to own it either way, because if there's videotape, it's going to acquit or convict for sure. There ain't gonna be any trial if there's some video evidence. There ain't gonna be no trial. It's gonna be acquit or convict. I can guarantee that. So let me give Tiny Reigns a wrench. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let me catch up on these Agar piece. Let me catch up on the chat. Where was I? Because my neck was killing me. I guess I can't go back, but so far that's crazy. On the iPad, I can't go back, but so far. On the computer, I can go back to the first comment, I think, or damn near. All right. So let's read from here. I'm laying down now. Hope y'all don't fall asleep. All right, so okay. I was hearing an echo. So Ron, did you forget about the laws of self-preservation? Nah, I listen, I got no problem with somebody said it best. Somebody said I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I agree with that. Jay Quan said there's an interview with the brother giving his account of the story. He said him and his brother approached Karmelo and says his brother put hands on him. Karmelo says he hit him. Jay Quan is okay. So somebody got a link in the chat. Finally, all right. That'll start now. Muck Muck says, "Where's the YTs right now when they unveil Trayvon, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, Jordan Neely? No, they were wrong in every instance, but got off anyway. Name one instance when the devil was in the right. Um, yeah, some crazy cases, bro. Uh, he interviewed with detectives. Jay, American law equals unjust. Just 99.9. Yeah, sometimes it's just I'm white and I say so. Sometimes it's just like that, unfortunately. That's why I try not. That's why I try not to get involved with white crime, like white issues, controversial issues with white people. There's a Karen, I'm dodging her. there's a Brad, I'm dodging him, man, because I know what you guys are saying is right. So if I know it's right, I ain't trying to stab him up. I'm out. The hell with stand your ground with this white guy. I'm out. You see what I'm saying, family? Because I know I'm going to be put in the same situation that everybody you named was in. We're in. So, so for me, Donnie, because white people are protected by systemic racism. Unfortunately, we gotta let them just try to harm us first. Where it's like clear intention, it's clear effort. But the old touch me and I stab you, again, guys, if we know systemic racism does not give us justice, then we gotta behave like that. We gotta behave like that. We're not behaving like that because we believe justice is fair. And that's why I got the woman, the blind justice. If you believe justice is fair, then stand your ground. But if you believe justice is unfair, then guess what? You might gotta retreat. Because they look at stand your ground for us, murder. Murder one. They look at stand your ground for white people, self-defense. So if that's known, then we're probably better off just retreating. Live another day, go home to your family. Don't take an L over on white not say so. Don't take an unnecessary L over the judicial system saying on white not say so. I refuse. I will try to avoid all I can to go into jail unjustly over defending myself in a violent way over white supremacists. Like a white supremacist got to really give me no way out. But on some get out my seat, while you're here trying to taunt me, you got it. Here's your seat. You got it. Because I know what system I'm in. You got it. It's a chair. You got it. Because you know, um, that could turn into this right here, a Karmelo case. Now I'm locked up, trying to, get a fair trial. Meanwhile, who's taking care of home? Who's influencing the young one? Like, what I mean? Some fights just not there to be fought. Right, let me turn this down, brightness down, this damn screen. Man, I can't even read anything. Screen bright as hell. All right, let's get to these comments. Okay. So, interview. I read that. Okay, somebody put a link. Let me click start now link. Let me see. Why I got a commercial? All right, no, I can't play that because it's giving me. I'll play it later because it's giving me a commercial and I'm gonna get a flag. All right, I'll play it later. All right, so let's get back. So where was that link? Okay, so let's go here. Williams, homie. We're just looking. We're just looking. Just try to be objective. The truth is supposed to be your goal, right? So, like I said, like, listen, don't be like Tethers. Tethers and white supremacists, they want to win. They don't care about being right or wrong. They just want to win. You know, that's what Jared Taylor told Tariq Nasheed. He said, screw right or wrong and what's morally right. It's all about dominance and winning. Homie, you're leaving stuff out, but it's okay. That's the spirit muck. I know you're not picking on me, and I'm about the truth. It's still the game of justice When it comes to FBA nuances don't count. This is the law. The law they invented when we were nowhere around besides serving tea. Okay. Good point, Ron. I have no doubt Brad Jr. initiated the whole confrontation. I would think so if they came to the table and he was sitting there. You dig? Um, so yeah, I just want more evidence. Like if this is all the evidence we got, I don't think it's gonna look good for our brother. So I hope there's more evidence out there that could tell a different story and more in favor of Carmelo Anthony. Agar says the guy who stabbed 5 people. Yeah, there you go. Agar, that's the guy I'm talking about. See, you up on that. Was in Wisconsin. That's not a stand your ground state. So there's a duty to retreat. Um, you sure about that? I don't know. I'm asking you. Let me look that up. Let me look it up. Let me look that up. Let me look that up. Let me look that up because that'd be interesting on that. Because then why was that his defense? He had a see. I don't know about that, Agar. Because then why was that his defense? You would think his lawyer would be competent enough to not even go that route. But maybe I misread it. Maybe I was watching it as a self defense. But let me try to look it up first. See, that piqued my interest, Agar. Now I want to know. Let's see. Apple. You said it's called Apple River. Okay, yeah, it is called Apple River. Okay. Uh, okay. Cool. Thank you for that. Let me look this up. See, I like when you guys educate me and throw something out there and have me look it up to be further educated. Okay. All right, so let's find out. Let's find out. You know me, I don't play around with the research. Okay. Mm, all right. Ta, 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 ta. Trying to find out real fast. I wonder if there's a wiki. They used to have 5 people. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen for this one. Okay. So July 30th, 2022, Nicolay, a 52-year-old Romanian American, stabbed and killed 17-year-old Isaac Schumann and injured 4 others near the Sunrise Bridge on the Apple River in Somerset, Wisconsin. The incident occurred while people were tubing on the river and a confrontation escalated, leading to the stabbing. Okay. Okay, here we go. So he got 20 years. Okay. Trial and verdict. He was convicted of first degree reckless homicide and death. I want to know his okay, this might be it right here I'm looking for. Okay, let's get to this. That'll be news to me. Hmm. See, it's getting right to the point. I want them to like go over the a little more, you know? So give me a second because I want to know about this one. I want to know if Agar is accurate or not. I could have sworn it was self defense. That's him right there. And that's the river over here. That's what they do out there. That's a victim of his. He took off too though. Okay, so I think we're getting close to okay. Hey, Agar, man charged in deadly Apple River stabbing, claim to police he acted in self defense. I wonder if his defense. So he claimed that, but was that his legal argument? Did his lawyer represent that? That's what I want to know. All right, so we know what he told the police officers, but now the question I got to ask now is there a self defense in Wisconsin? I would think so. I would think there's a self defense in all 50 states. But let's see. Uh, oh, come on, man! Don't miseducate me. Yes, Wisconsin has self defense laws, including a castle doctrine. These laws permit individuals to use force. Come on, man! Don't do me like that. Yeah, I know I'm a thorough researcher. Don't do me like that. That's why I looked it up. I said I don't believe that because his defense was self defense. I watched that trial. I watched almost every second of that trial. One thing about me, chat, y'all know that I love interrogations and I love trials. Okay, and I love the cross examine part, the cross examination. Yeah, Agar, man, you had me waste 15 minutes of my life, bro, with misinformation. See, I won't do that. I won't see now. To me, you just guessed. You winged it. You didn't have to. You could have just looked it up before you had me waste 10 to 15 minutes, man. My God. Oh my God. Y'all gotta stop. And by the way, the reason why he lost that is because the jury believed that he punched first. So he initiated. So the reason why he lost that, Agar, So now we know Wisconsin does have a self-defense law, and now we know his lawyers argue self-defense. Hey, chat. The reason why he got arrested and convicted, not arrested but convicted, is because they believe he hit the girl first, and then the guy hit him, and then he went to stabbing. So in a self-defense claim, you can't initiate the fight and then claim self-defense. Like, I think that's the law across all 50 states. So witnesses, the jury believe the witnesses that he threw the first punch, and therefore he couldn't claim self-defense. Because I was going to say to you guys, if he can't win a self-defense, then Carmelo got no chance. But the jury believe he swung first. Okay, I don't think that's going to be an issue in Carmelo's case. I don't think nobody's saying that he swung first. Not even the white boys are saying he swung first. So he won't have that problem. As long as the videos don't show something crazy. If the videos are consistent with the stories, that's his best chance, obviously. But a guard, brother, you got some explaining to do. Listen, chat. If you give me a link, I like that. I encourage you to give me links, but try your best to vet the link. Now, he didn't give a link. He just said something random and reckless, and it made me go on a wild goose chase for a wild goose chase for no reason. Chat, please value my time. I'm a thorough researcher. Okay. You see, I challenged that right away. Other things I say in the chat, I just read it and let it go. But something like that, I feel like that was crazy. And I challenged that right away, and I was right, you're wrong. Okay? So please do not just say random stuff in the chat. Vet your information first, and then, we can exchange and, information. But please don't waste my time on stuff that's completely false. Okay, so anyway, let's keep reading. So Tiny says, why nobody's talking about the Molly and crack to the 10th power found in the autopsy in that boy's system? Lord Maul says, I'm not being emotional, Donnie. I just understand how these people think. Know your enemy. Jay Quan want to know about Tiny's information. Yeah, so y'all got wrenches. Put your link in the chat so I can click it and read it. But don't be wrong like Agar. Agar, I love you still, boy, but you had me on a wild goose chase. I didn't say you were the enemy. They are my enemy. Judge Brown. I'm not gonna read that word you try. Well, at least we agree on Judge Brown. Yeah, Judge Brown is a damn nut. Brother, it was the witness interview by Officer Witzel that shows that. Yo, why you can't post a link? hey, hey, Muck Muck, you're making a claim. You know the rule. If you said it, you gotta go get it. Okay, dude, post the link in the chat. Let's read about this interview. Let's watch this interview. You know about an interview that we didn't see, okay, or read. Please just go get that and post the link in the chat. But don't be as wrong as a guard. I got to tease you a little bit, bro, because you said some wild stuff just now. You put me on a wild goose chase for no reason. Tiny said FBA's is on the job for this, brother. Yeah, I consider myself a top researcher. So I say, you know what? Let me get on this because I'm hearing stuff from people, and and I'm hearing FBA say stuff. I'm hearing tethers say otherwise. I'm hearing white supremacists talk their talk. So I said, you know what? Let me look into myself because maybe I'll debate this. But I don't like how it's looking so far for our brother Karmelo Anthony. I don't like how it's looking for him so far. Hopefully more information comes out or leaks out and it favors him. But right now, what we have right now I think I agree with Chat GPT. It's not looking good. If this Lord Maul says if this situation were reversed, them folks would be just, oh yeah, 100%. If this were reversed, man, they would be like, that big black scary guy. Oh my God, he was gonna kill him. He was definitely gonna cause bodily injury. How you know? It just I just I just got that weird feeling. Innocent. Nah, 100% if it was the other way. And that's what I'm saying, yo. Let's unfortunately, when it comes to this white man, let's make sure, not potentially, not hypothetically, unfortunately, we gotta like be sure that this man is gonna do us bodily harm because you're gonna find yourself doing a 30-year sentence. And this is in Texas. You see, the DA promised not to seek the death penalty. So you see, your self-defense on a white supremacist can lead yourself to death row. So try to just de-escalate. Try to avoid it. Do not say touch me. None of that stuff. Try to, especially when you know your force is deadly. Now, if you're just gonna punch the guy in the face, then do you, boo. But if you know your force is deadly, yeah, man, you might want to consider that. Consider like the okay, yeah, you swing first, you knock him out. But consider he trying to choke you out. He's trying to kill you. He won't stop until you kill him. Like think about that part. Think about not just the good part. I'm gonna knock him out. Think about the negative part that he can possibly die right there on the spot. Like, could you live with that? You know, look at the consequences that come after that. Could you live with that? Possibly. So this, you could avoid this white supremacist or engage him. But just know when you engage him, this might be your last day on earth. You might be in the Bing for 50 years for justifiably defending yourself. Yeah, man. The kid saved another kid from drowning. Peace and bias, Ron. And the fan, peace, Nat Turner. You didn't hop into a war zone right now, brother. It's FBA against FBA. And I'm joking. I'm going off what I heard. Thus, yeah, no, Muck Muck. We don't do that, Muck Muck. No, brother. We do responsible research. We don't do hearsay. Because hearsay is almost equivalent to I'm white and I say so. No, we don't do hearsay. Okay. Something like that. Because like that would be crucial. If that actually happened, then most likely he's innocent. So you gotta look at it like that. If that actually happened and that's documented, most likely, he'll be acquitted. He'll be acquitted. That's why I don't believe that happened. I still remember when these co-magnons being up in arms with Harambe the gorilla getting deleted when the title Black Boy fell into the gorilla bit. Yeah. But yeah, they rather the little boy die than a damn gorilla. These white supremacists be on something else, man. Um, yeah, judged by 12, carried by 6. So Tiny says they tried to jump him, weighing in at 550 pounds combined, while he had 130, two linebackers. Yeah, well, listen, if all I'm saying is if the video or even the eyewitness, right? Because he needs either one. He needs either or, right? He needs a video that shows what Tiny just said or an eyewitness. And by the way, Tiny, make sure you subscribe and hit the link. I mean, not the link, hit the like button. And I